One reason why people are so afraid to watch horror movies is that they don't want to be freaked out when something unexpected happens. Usually, this involves a scene with a sudden shock or surprise that comes out of nowhere. Scenes like this can make you jump out of your seat, hence the name jump scare. These scenes also feature a loud blast of music to emphasize them. So here is my list of the top 10 scariest jump scares in horror movies. Starting off my list at number 10 is a scene from House on Haunted Hill from 1959. The setup is simple enough when two guests at a party inside a haunted house investigate some creepy occurrences. What makes this scene so shocking is that it is totally unexpected and features a very scary ghost that moves so unconventionally. Coming in at number 9 is Poltergeist from 1982. This was one of the scariest movies I saw as a kid, and a big part of that was this scene involving a really creepy clown doll. This doll was like Pennywise and Chucky combined into one. I couldn't imagine why Robbie's parents would get him a doll like that, since it would clearly give most kids nightmares. It is also responsible for one of the biggest jump scares in any movie. And at number 8, we have Cujo from 1983. I love dogs, and I could never think of my dog as a source of my fears. But a Saint Bernard with rabies terrifies me, especially when you're trapped in a car with no one around to help. That is the setup for one of the most shocking jump scares of all time.
Oh, I can't get it. Oh.
Up next at number 7 is 1408. This Stephen King adaptation is full of unsettling images and also features a very effective jump scare. John Cusack has agreed to spend the night in a haunted hotel room, and he begins hallucinating and seeing ghosts. In one scene, the tension is so high, and then the scariest thing in the whole movie happens. At number 6, we have Jurassic Park. This might not technically be a horror movie in the traditional sense, but it does qualify as a monster movie. It also has a huge jump scare in the middle of the film. This happens when we actually see the Velociraptor for the very first time in the series. I saw this in a theater during a special screening, and everyone jumped out of their seats.
Mr. Hammond, I think we're back in business.
Coming in at number 5 is Creepshow from 1982. This horror anthology has 5 scary stories with a handful of jump scares throughout. But the biggest jump scare comes during the 3rd story, called Something to Tide You Over. This happens when Leslie Nielsen realizes the people he just killed are not completely dead. Up next at number 4 is Rec, or R-E-C, from 2007. This Spanish film is chock full of jump scares. The biggest jump scare comes when the cameraman discovers a boy who is infected with the virus that is turning everyone into zombies. I saw this movie in a theater when it was released, and this scene left me on edge for the rest of the movie.
Pablo, por favor, baja la cámara de ahí. Se oyen cosas muy raras, hostia.
And at number 3 is Alien from 1979. Many people think of the infamous chest bursting scene as the biggest jump scare from Alien, but I disagree. The biggest jump scare actually comes later in the film when Tom Skerritt crawls through the air ducts to search for the creature.
Dallas?
Taking the number 2 spot is Friday the 13th, Part 2. I really think this is an underrated entry in the Friday the 13th series. It features a smart heroine who tricks Jason and manages to escape. That is before one of the biggest jump scares of all time.
Give me your muffin.
And finally at number 1 is Jaws. And no, I am not talking about the gonna need a bigger boat scene. The biggest jump scare happens earlier in the film when Richard Dreyfuss explores Ben Gardner's boat. I've seen this movie more times than any other movie, and everyone I have seen it with always jumps in fear during this scene. Did you agree with my list? What movie has your biggest jump scare? Let me know in the comments below and be sure to subscribe for more content.